and his spell suite is going to be pretty similar, although you see, we may see, 2 copies of Umezawa's Jite in Dustin's list that were not in Jarvis's list. So, also a Sylvan Library available to Dustin.
No, we know who's who there. We're just having some small problems with the monitor getting the right one up. Todd Anderson on the right, Sneak and Show. Dustin Allen, Shardless Bug.
Yeah, still kind of the same concept. You want to cast Shardless Agent and hit any number of spells. Ancestral Vision is kind of like the lottery, but you know, you could hit a Hymn to Turok, you could hit a Thoughtseize, you could hit an Abrupt Decay, you could hit a Maelstrom Pulse, the old Cascade into Maelstrom Pulse from Standard a few years ago. So Brainstorm, Ponder, lots of options here.
Okay.
How do you think? How do you think this matchup goes for Dustin?
Honestly, I think Dustin, he has a little bit of hand disruption, 2 Thoughtseize. He's got 3 Hymn to Turok. That'll help a little bit. No counter magic. I think Todd Anderson is gonna roll over Dustin unless Dustin gets an incredibly discard-heavy hand.
Yeah, you mentioned the 3 Hymns, the 2 Thoughtseize, no Inquisition of Kozilek in Dustin's list, so and I don't see any duress. He has an additional Hymn and an additional Thoughtseize in the board, as well as an Extirpate, which you know, if he can somehow get Todd to put one of the elements of his combo into the graveyard with something like a Thoughtseize or Hymn to Turok, then an Extirpate may matter, but that's of course post-board. We're pre-board at the moment, and we're all lands so far.
Dustin Allen, turn 2 gets a land. Todd Anderson fetched right away and passed. Kind of interesting, fetching right away like that. It's almost the kind of thing you'd expect to see doing to stop a Stifle from hitting you, but Dustin did have open mana, so just an interesting choice. Todd Anderson now, Hymn to Turok hitting him, perhaps, is a Spell Pierce in hand that he can use to stop that with. There you go, the Spell Pierce. Dustin Allen, remember, with no counter magic, so everything that Todd Anderson might want to do will happen. His only way of interacting with Todd Anderson's combo is going to be that discard we were talking about earlier.
He's got to get it to resolve first. You see Dustin's hand includes 2 copies of Jace the Mind Sculptor and a Shardless Agent, and that may be it at the moment. Yeah, I think that's all. Todd.
Show.
Well, I'm going to cast Show and Tell.
Well, you know, Dustin's got a good permanent over there.
Yeah, except Jace the Mind Sculptor I don't believe works with Show and Tell.
Yeah, you're right.
So unless you were referring to
creature,
yeah,
Shardless Agent.
He could have put the Shardless Agent in for free, but he declined to do it. I don't know why. Actually, wait, I do, because Cascade is what you really want.
Something lucky. And looking at his cards, there are no lucky cards he could get to get out of this.
Don't know what he could possibly get. So Shardless Agent, Cascade, they're already cracking up over there. And
free information for Todd Anderson. Brainstorm, woo, scoops it up.
Yeah.
That is a effectively turn 2 kill. Todd Anderson did not literally kill Dustin Allen, but what was going to happen there? If you don't know Emrakul, 15 mana, he's going to attack and annihilate Dustin Allen's board, leaving him with 0 permanents, very few life, and no outs, especially because the only out that Dustin would have is if he got that Jace into play. The Emrakul has protection from colored spells if Jace is in play. The -1 ability is not a spell, it's an ability. It's an ability, yeah. But you have to actually get that Jace out first.
Yeah, hopefully Todd didn't have any actual plans to literally kill Dustin Allen, as you suggested. But he did want to attack him with Emrakul, and Dustin denied him that pleasure. It was something that he could at least get out of it. No, I'm not letting you attack me with Emrakul. I'm scooping. You can't fire me. I quit.
Todd Anderson's sideboard. Ley lines of many kinds. 4 Sanctity, 4 Void. Then he's got some Echoing Truth, some Red Elemental Blasts, and Through the Breach, a kind of way to one-shot sneak something into play. I think that we're going to see Leyline of Sanctity come in for Todd Anderson. Dustin Allen's deck has a lot of discard, and if Todd Anderson drops a turn 1 Leyline, that can just shut down Dustin Allen's entire way to interact with this combo.
On the other side, Dustin, as I kind of mentioned beforehand, he's got an additional Thoughtseize, an additional Hymn to Turok, one Extirpate if he gets lucky and something actually goes to the graveyard and he can maybe just say Extirpate the Show and Tell or Extirpate the Sneak Attacks, or both if he could. But that feels like grasping at straws a bit. He does have 3 copies of Liliana of the Veil, so a Liliana causing Todd to sacrifice a creature would actually matter.
I mean, I suspect we're going to see him and Thoughtseize definitely come in, and Pithing Needle is not a terrible preemptive stop on Gristlebrand's, you know, -7 life ability.
Also Sneak Attack.
Yeah, Sneak Attack as well. Very cheap possible answer.
Yeah, and you don't like the Liliana Sacrifice Emrakul plan?
It's okay. It's a little. I think the problem with it's not bad at all. Honestly,
I think it's better than, well, it's as good as Jace and a mana cheaper, because you saw that turn, like you mentioned. If he had gotten Jason to play, he at least had an answer to Emrakul.
Yeah, like one of the things that can happen with the Show and Tell is you can lay a land off of the Show and Tell if you're the Jace player, and then on your next turn lay another land and have the mana to cast the Jace and then activate the Jace. That's one of the ways you can get Jace to interact with those cards.
Right.
Usually with a card like Gristlebrand, it's too little too late. Emrakul, it's not too little too late. Emrakul is the kind of knock you out of the game, you got no way of coming back kind of card. In one way, in the sense that it destroys all of your permanents if it gets one swing. Gristlebrand, on the other hand, gives this Sneak and Show list a very Tricks-like quality. Tricks from about 2000 and I want to say 1 or 2, that Necropotence combo deck that would Necro up, get Force of Wills to protect itself, and then kill on the next turn. The way that this is similar, Gristlebrand comes down, you draw up a perfect hand and then say go, and they try to stop you, and you're like, nah, Force of Will, Spell Pierce, untap. Gristlebrand comes in, gains 7 life, reset the hand, and just really pulls things out.
One other way for Dustin to perhaps grasp at straws here is the 1 copy of Golgari Charm, which can hit a Sneak Attack.
Yeah.
That's, again, grasping at straws, but just trying to find the little angles if Dustin can find a way to win this match. First, he has to win this game.
This is one of those matchups that I would really not want to be in Dustin's shoes. I was playing for fun at Gen Con, and I tried to get some of the guys from the Ascension booth to play with me. And they were all like, oh no, we're doing Ascension. And the only one that would play with me was Darwin Castle. And he's like, well, do you have another deck? And so somebody ran up and handed Darwin a Sneak and Show list. Darwin had never seen the list before. Oh, wow. And he's reading the cards, he doesn't know what any of them do, and he's crushing me. And it's just because you can't really interact with it well with the kind of deck that I was playing, very similar to what Dustin's playing. You know, like, there's just not enough interaction, and the kill comes over too fast, protects itself too well. Darwin Castle was so inspired by that deck, he ended up putting it together and making some top 8s with it over the next couple of months.
Yeah, it's a very, very, very powerful deck with a lot of backup as far as protecting its combo and executing its combo. So as you've seen, Todd Anderson there with the very quick kill. And it's a deck that, you know, I think it's the deck most likely to have people discussing what cards should be banned in Legacy, and you know, Show and Tell on that list of you know, of topics of conversation in that particular discussion. Gristlebrand potentially also on that list. So we're underway here. Both players with a fetch land on turn 1. Bayou for Dustin. He's going to crack his fetch immediately. If he can get off the Hymn to Turok that he had on turn 2 last game, that would be nice. He does find a second source of black, form of an Underground Sea. That
hand was kind of crazy. It looked like he had like triple Lotus Petal, Todd Anderson.
Yeah, he did. I think he had double Lotus Petal. Yeah, it looked like double Lotus Petal, Emrakul, Show and Tell, Gristlebrand. Now he found a Volcanic Island. He's going to play Lotus Petal, and it looks like Show and Tell is going to hit the stack. Dustin did have a play on turn 2. It was a Tarmogoyf, not looking very impressive and about to be hugely outclassed. by Todd Anderson's.
Did you say it was an Emrakul or a Gristlebrand that
Both.
Todd had? Oh, jeez.
He's got both.
Second Lotus Petal, sack, show and tell. I've got a choice. He's going to probably put out. Gosh, I would put Gristlebrand into play here just to try to put the lights out. But there are reasonable reasons to put Emrakul into play.
He goes with Gristlebrand. He has a Leyline of Sanctity there.
Yeah.
And there you see Gristlebrand. Yeah, the other reason I think Gristlebrand is potentially the smarter play is because you can draw so many cards and protect the Gristlebrand and potentially just go off again. And you know, next turn he may end up just playing Show and Tell again if he drew into one. He doesn't appear to have yet, but he could just more likely to Show and Tell again and get the Emrakul into play. He's going to discard here and discards Leyline and I think a Scalding Tarn.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. And Dustin Allen here can lay a Jace. I believe there's enough blue in there. That glare is making it hard to see the blue.
No, I think it's Wasteland, Bayou, Underground
Sea. So he's shy of it then. 4 mana, not the right kind of mana.
Yeah, missing a blue. So he is going to Shardless Agent here, I believe. Oh no, he's going to
Liliana. Not bad.
Again,
now,
that's a reasonable answer.
Todd in an interesting position here. If Todd does the draw 7 to try to find a Force of Will, if he misses, Tarmogoyf might just kill him.
Yeah, we've got Enchantment, Land, Sorcery, Artifact already in the graveyard. That's 4. If Gristlebrand hits the yard, that's 5. That's creature. Tarmogoyf will kill him for exactly 5, or hit him for exactly 5, which will kill him because you draw 7 and go down to 5.
I think he's going to let this Liliana stick. And
oh
wow!
I think he pointed to Gristlebrand. He's going to draw. Now we'll see if he actually hits something. He hits a Spell Pierce.
The Spell Pierce should be sufficient.
Yeah, we know Dustin doesn't.
No counter spells from Dustin. Cracks for blue. Spell Pierce that. No Liliana for you.
Todd Anderson ruining people's fun. With his own brand of fun, of course. It's fun for him, I'm sure, to have a Gristlebrand in play. Another one in your hand. Emrakul just hanging out next to it.
I thought he might let it hit him and then lay an Ancient Tomb and the other Lotus Petal that I saw him have, and then go sneak attack, sneak in Emrakul, swing, and destroy all of Dustin's permanents.
That would have been another route to victory. Instead, he just says, well, I'll go to 5, and I'll counter that Liliana. Yeah, can't attack with Tarmogoyf, even though he's huge. He is not as huge as Gristlebrand. And also Gristlebrand would just put Todd right back up to 12 if he were to block that Tarmogoyf. I think we're going to see Todd back up at 12 by the end of this turn. Anyway, if the end of this turn ever comes and Dustin doesn't just scoop it up.
Now, the reason he can't make that show and tell, or sorry, that sneak attack play now is that he does not have the Lotus Petal in play anymore.
Right, he had to use it for the Spell Pierce. So Todd's going to brainstorm here with, I think he's got 68 or 69 cards in his hand.
Oh no, it's 73.
73,
yeah.
Sorry, I must have missed 3 or 4.
It was close though, it was close.
Yeah, upwards of 1 million.
Todd, 1 million, as you said, lands in play. Swings for, well, thinks about swinging.
Yep.
Swings for 7.
Dustin down to 12, Todd up to 12. If those life totals are correct. Now, if Dustin has some sort of way to give that Tarmogoyf double strike.
Ancient Tomb. Preordain. Gristlebrand and I believe a Leyline. Buried.
Bottoms them both, yeah. Finds
Misdirection. That's interesting.
I feel like Dustin is a dead man walking here.
It's not completely over. Todd does not have a lot of ways to interact with Dustin right now for this moment. And as a result, he can't actually afford to pay 7 life. Emrakul, discarded by Todd.
And
Shuffle,
that'll shrink
shuffle.
the Tarmogoyf. I think that was what
Boom.
Todd was trying to do there. Tarmogoyf suddenly drops to 2/3 from a 6/7. Planeswalker land, the only permanent types in the graveyard right now. So Todd is fairly safe from that Tarmogoyf, even if it hits him. and we're gonna see what we can do. Dustin finds a Thoughtseize several turns too late.
I mean, that can make the Tarmogoyf grow a little bit, but it's not a very exciting play.
No, not at all. He could Thoughtseize away the sneak attack. I believe there may be 2 sneak attacks though. There's
a misdirection in Todd's hand,
yeah,
which he can use to have Dustin Thoughtseize himself. First, we see 2 mana tapped.
There's nothing in Dustin's hand that costs 2, so he looks like he's going to cast a Shardless Agent.
Todd Anderson waits for the Cascade. Cascade is a Brainstorm. Brainstorm resolves. No lands there on that Cascade into Brainstorm.
Dustin with a lot of action. Not really any way to fight against a Gristlebrand, or to answer the Gristlebrand, from what I can tell. Needed a land for a Jace to potentially answer the Gristlebrand maybe next turn. Wasn't able to find it. Puts a couple cards on top, including a Ponder.
Attacks for an anemic 3.
Yeah. Todd gonna fall to 9 here, but we know he's likely just gonna be at 16.
Such a devastating feeling when you're in this Gristlebrand position in Legacy. You keep getting buried beyond cards that it's just so many cards.
Yeah.
City of Traders, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana.
Taken 2 for the Ancient Tomb. And there
Sneak
is
attack.
the Sneak Attack. 1 floating, I believe. He's going to activate Sneak Attack and play Emrakul, and there it is.
Dustin Allen is done.
Dead to show and tell. Todd Anderson, filthy man. Don't know why you would be so mean to do that to people, but I guess it is a deck in Legacy, and you're not the only one playing it.